Hey, this is Mike WX0MK, and I want to continue that story I started last night about the lady who with HF. And maybe this is a good opportunity for you to kind of imagine your head building your own station as well. So, backstory, this lady brought in a Yaesu FT950, I believe it was, radio. So it's a much older radio. And she wanted to make sure it worked before she bought it. I don't remember what she said she was going to offer the person for it, but so when I arrived, they had it hooked up to a 2-meter vertical, only for receiving testing. Don't come after me. And they had it hooked up to someone else's power supply, and they were in process of trying to see if it will receive anything, and they couldn't get anything. I don't know how long they were trying. It wasn't very long, I don't think, because the next thing someone suggested is WWV, which is basically time. We'll transmit time, is constantly transmitting, so you can always hear it. You can always find it. So I tuned it to 5 megahertz to start with, thinking, well, maybe a little too bright out yet. Didn't hear anything on 10 megahertz. So, and meanwhile, someone threw out there, well, maybe you should just plug a wire into the antenna port. So I dug through her boxes of stuff that she had with her, and I found a looked like a speaker wire. It was all bunched up, kind of wrapped up type deal, and one end happened to be stripped. So I pushed it in the hole, and I was tuning around a little bit to see if I could find anything else. So I went back to WWV, and whammo, I was hearing things. Not strong, but I was hearing it in the noise, and we at least proved out that it was receiving signal. So if you always want to test the radio, that is a good place to go, because you can guarantee there's something there. But again, this was just a thing of wires, so it wasn't strong. It wasn't a great receiver. Obviously, we weren't pushing the PTT button, but we verified it out working. Ultimately, I thought about hooking it to my truck, but I started looking at the power cord, and I just would not be able to make it work. I have all power pole in my truck, and that we would have had no way to power the radio out there otherwise. So note to self for me, I got to come up with a solution for that for the future. But so we proved that out, got it all boxed up and going for her. And then she started asking questions about what does she need to get going. So this is probably where you want to start paying attention if you are first building out your HF station. Now, there are many, many, many opinions on antennas, and many, many opinions of what is easy. But I threw out to her that she should get an end-fed half-wave antenna, because it's not overly expensive, and it is extremely easy to put up, and it's multi-banded, so she would have that ability to get multiple bands. So I threw out my antennas, 40 meter end-fed half-wave antenna. I said it does cost a little bit, but it is no barrier for you to there's no barrier of entry for you to get it up. All you have to do is throw the wire up one side and find a place to mount the other end with the transformer, and you are golden. So I pointed her to that direction. Also power supply. It's like, you don't have to be too picky. Don't go to Amazon, buy the cheap ones. Get something from DX Engineering or Ham-Ray Outlet. Just about any of them will do, and you should be good there. Just to kind of keep the instructions kind of low barrier, and knowing that they sell ham, at least most of them. I don't know if they have any that are not. Amateur radio, kind of more quiet type radios. So got her going on that. She asked about different frequencies, and I did send her an email with, here's some things that you can start listening to. Here's some of the things I do as well, and then also sent her some links to some various things. If you are looking for a temporary installation, this is the other thing I pointed out to her. There's what's called a window pass-through connector, and that will help you get it into your house without having to drill holes or anything like that. For some reason, my hat I thought it was like $20. The one from Comet is really expensive, in my opinion, anyway, because it's like $50 for this short little cable that's flat and has a connector on each end. So I did give that to her, but then someone else told me that my antennas, who I pointed out the antenna to, also has a similar setup, and it was like $15. So I said, this is what you can get. You don't have to worry about trying to drill holes, do all this stuff. At least for where you want to start, this is a great place to start. Don't come after me, because I'm trying to come up with something that's simple for older lady. I think her husband's not doing well or something. Something sick or something like that. I heard too. So I was trying to keep something that's extremely simple, something you just kind of throw together in a afternoon, evening, and you're up and running. So the biggest things I tell hams when they first get licensed is don't overthink it. I overthought it. I was trying to make everything perfect, everything else, and don't do that. Just get antennas up. Figure out. You have to do some figuring out, but don't over plan. That means throwing a wire up in a tree and see if it works. My 80-meter dipole is not in an ideal height. I could probably get it to an ideal height, but it is not in an ideal height. But it works. I've worked Hawaii on it, so it works good enough. It also works in NVIS format to some degree, so I'm happy with it. 160 meters. Well, you definitely can't get that up to high enough, but I just threw it on some trees. I kind of got up as high as I could go, obviously, and it works. I've worked in multiple states last winter, and I'll be working more states this winter. So that's kind of the last point I have with the Enfit half-wave antenna choice. Is most antennas, they show this little beautiful donut shape that elegant, looks nice. And then if you look at the radiation pattern of Enfit half-wave, it's just little spikes that go all these random directions, which is the benefit to that, because you don't have to put that up 60 feet in the air. You can, or 30 feet or whatever, you can put that up at 20 feet, just kind of as high as you could throw a rock or something, and put it in a tree and call it good. And I worked most of the world at that level until I finally took the time to get up. I got up in, another 10, 15 feet maybe is all I did. But it's just taking those opportunities to just get on the air. So hopefully that helps you out, and 7-3.